No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. We in here today with the one and only Sara Molina. This is the third time, although one of the times was over FaceTime. I do believe.
It was. You leaked my number.
Yeah,
that time.
That was. I'm still living with the pain of knowing that I put you through that.
Are you really?
I mean, no, not really, but it did like feel like a pretty horrible thing to do at the time.
A whole lot of rope game rope.
And especially that was just like the number one time period where you were probably getting a shitload of stuff sent your way in general, right?
Yeah, early 2019. So it was really hectic.
That was when stuff was like super hectic.
Yeah, it was still new. Just a lot of things going on. A lot of not knowing what's going on too.
Do you feel like you've adjusted a bit to your status? Like, does it feel weird to be so like trapped in this web of like sort of fame? Well, no, definitely fame, but
it can get it can get overwhelming sometimes. But it's just like it's already been something that's been going on for so long already. It's just like I adapted, or it's just something that I'm already used to. It's not as shocking.
Definitely. Where are you, like, how has your life changed since the last time we talked? Like, what's your living situation like? What are you up to, et cetera? I feel like you've kind of, you've definitely been in, like, sort of a state of, figuring out what it is that you want to do with the platform that you now have and shit, right?
Absolutely. I think last year I kind of was going through every door that I possibly could. So I had so many things going on that I didn't have, like, set time to focus on one thing at a time to really figure out if that's what I like more than the other. So it's just like, then overall with the attention, I felt like I really couldn't handle it. It was just tons of pressure, and I don't know what the fuck it is to like really have that type of attention from a bunch of crazy people, normal people. It didn't matter. It was just very overwhelming when people thought they knew who I was too. So that was more of the frustrating part of it. But at this point, I really don't care.
It's just
care.
It's just some shit you went through, and it doesn't define you. It's just it's a thing you dealt with.
I let it blow with the wind. I don't care what anybody really has to say about me these days.
Right.
At all.
It's crazy though, because it feels like your ex is very determined to like throw you in the conversation as often as possible, because it's like a way for him to scrounge up some sympathy. Like if he can convince everybody that you with his former gang members did something truly horrible to him, then that makes it so that his fans or people who want to believe him can say, okay, like he was wronged, and that's why what he's done is defensible.
The people that matter don't believe him, and I'm perfectly fine with that. That's all that matters to me. I don't care about any of these strangers that think they know the truth. I never have to encounter them in my life. Why do I care about what anybody who doesn't know me personally what they have to say or think about me?
Right.
It's just, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of unfortunate that first live he decided to get on very angrily and aggressively the way he did, and just kind of depict my character. Like, he said on a live to 2 million people something that is just very hurtful, and still something that he's still using to gain sympathy for the things that he's done. So it's just like, if that's what you're still on, I'm kind of good with this distance, not communicating any of it. So whatever helps him sleep better at night, that's shit that he has to deal with.
Because the reason why he brought that up was because that was how he was trying to defend not seeing his kids, right?
No, he has another kid that the baby mama, there's nothing wrong with her. He just doesn't claim the kid, and it's biologically is proven.
Oh, okay.
Through DNA, that's his kid.
So he's got another kid that he's not seeing as well as your kid that he's not seeing.
Yeah, so what's the excuse with that?
Right.
I mean, he's not a good father. That's just what it is.
So while he was locked up, he was in touch with the kid, or was that not even the case? Because that's kind of like what I read is that he was in communication, and then once he got out, the communication stopped, and that was his excuse. No?
What it was towards like the end of the year, around when his case started, to maybe around December, that's when they got the verdict. He was gonna get like 2 years, but it was really some little less than a year in house arrest. His mother reached out maybe the weekend before, and she said on a Friday, she was like, "Oh, after going almost the whole year without talking to us, seeing if we were okay, if my daughter was fine, oh, can we have the baby stay over at our house, and we'll bring the baby back Wednesday?" I was like, you went a whole year without,
Right.
without reaching out to even caring about whether or not my daughter is fine, your granddaughter, his daughter. And I already saw the motive. It was just, you just wanted to stay with the baby until Wednesday to bring her to court. Because that's when they were going to get his verdict or whatever.
Oh, wow. So they wanted to be able to use that as like a sympathy token?
Yeah, but it's just like, even in the support letters that they didn't even write themselves, they had their lawyers write. His brother's support letter, it said that my daughter was 6 years old. My daughter's 4. They couldn't even get or tell your lawyer to get your niece's age right.
Wow.
It was just a bunch of bullshit, but it's just like a little soon after that, I was letting his mom and his brother see the baby. He's just, I had communication set up between Danny and my mom. So they were communicating. Look, I'm not here to make your life any more worse than what you already made it.
Right.
As long as you do right, be a father and be the father that our daughter deserves and needs, because you can be a father, but you can be a shitty one, like the one you're choosing to be.
Right.
Then I'm not going to stop you from seeing the baby. It's just certain things within time that I got to see for myself that it's going to be okay to place our daughter in whatever environment you have yourself in because of the mess you've made.
Because that's like the most serious decision that you could possibly be making, is just to have, somebody else taking care of your kid for any period of time. Like as a mother, I mean, that's like the biggest thing.
Yeah, and it's just, he's labeled, so it's just, and that in itself is more stressful than the in-between petty beef that you want to start with me, okay?
Right.
It doesn't help the situation. It's not about me or him.
Do you get child support?
No.
Have you tried? Are you in the system of trying to like make that happen or whatever? That seems kind of insane given that
I've never even cared to get $1 from him. That's why it's never been done. So
Really?
Yeah.
Just because you don't want to have to reduce yourself to having that conversation, or what's the thought process?
No, it's just, I know that to me, it's actually a really sad situation that it would take for me to have to put you on child support to want to financially take care of your child. That's the sad thing about it. And then secondly, I feel like I don't want to have that interaction because he's is not about our child. It's about all the other wrong things that at the end of the day don't matter.
Right.
Just to bring myself that type of frustration for financial support from him, I'd rather not. He's a headache in itself. It's just not someone really not worth dealing with, especially now at the moment.
All right, so I know y'all are enjoying this here Sara Molina interview, but I got to take 1 second to just let you know that this episode is sponsored by our friends over at Plug Play. Basically, they make some of the best marijuana vapes you ever touched in your entire life. I swear to God, I had this one single cartridge in there since the day we first did an advertisement for this stuff, like over a month ago, and it's still going. They last forever. You can recharge it with a little USB thing here, and it's only available in California at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to be available everywhere in near future. Fully licensed, tested, and compliant. I'm telling you, man, these things are gas. And the link to their Instagram as well as their YouTube channel is in the description, so definitely check that out. I'm going to take a little baby hit here before we wrap this up. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff. Let's get back into the interview. Shout out to our friends at Plug Play. Does this, complicate your existing... Are you still with the same guy that you were with last time we did the interview?
No.
No, that didn't work out.
No.
What went wrong? Is there a lot of pressure dating you?
No, it's just a lot of fake shit going on that I necessarily thought I was separating myself from, but really wasn't.
What do you mean by that? You think he was just in it for the clout?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How did that become evident to you?
It was self-admitted. It was just like, this is what I came into it doing, but I really grew to love and care for you, and it just didn't sit well, or it was weighing heavy on my heart that I'd rather say it than someone else say it.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, should have never said nothing at all, dummy. Like, I don't care if you love me now.
What? That's crazy. So that it didn't seem like it was that kind of situation, and then he was he just trying to bare his soul, and he thought you would relate to it, you would understand?
Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of something I'm still working on. It's not really perfected, but it's just like, I really dwell on the fact that I've spent a lot of years with one person. And one of my biggest regrets was that I didn't check out sooner, you know? So something that's bad with me now, I'll drop you real quick. I'm not wasting no more time. It's just like, I don't want to invest unnecessary time into people at all. Definitely.
So what's it like being single? It's got to be kind of weird. I feel like you haven't really been single for any significant portion of time since you sort of became a household name in the streets.
I mean, I can't complain. I don't have to deal with anybody really, so that's good.
I'm scared of being single. I'm scared of being lonely.
You think that's what it is, being lonely if you're single?
I mean, I feel like it would be lonely, especially as somebody who's had this like emotional support unit for years. No,
you're lonely if you separate yourself. You can be single and have a lot of interaction with other people, friendships and stuff like that. It's not, a single life isn't a lonely life necessarily.
That's true. I don't trust these hoes though, to be totally honest. Though. I feel like just, I'm too closed off. I can't imagine putting myself into all the situations I used to put myself into. Holy fuck, they all seem so foreign now.
I mean, you got a good situation going on, so.
It's true. It's very true.
It's very surprising.
That I'm reproducing? I don't even think we talked about it last time that you were on the podcast.
We did. Lena was trying to get me to convince her to not want to get pregnant, but it's just like, I couldn't do that. I'm a mom.
Right. And I mean, she was trying to convince you to start OnlyFans, and you were trying to convince her to have a baby.
Yeah.
It didn't work out?
I mean,
I know you're thinking
on my end, it did. I mean, I convinced you guys to have a baby, and here you guys are.
But but you're not making OnlyFans?
Yeah.
So she took the L.
Yeah, she took the L.
That's pretty funny.
I'm surprised. I wish I could have seen her today, but.
Oh yeah, she's off. She's getting into like kind of a weird.
Is she like mentally preparing herself for this?
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because she thought that the ending months of her pregnancy, or like not even the ending months, but she thought that she was going to be spending a lot of time traveling and that she was going to be all over the world and shit, and then instead coronavirus, can't go anywhere. We went to Zion in Utah for like 4 days. And so
what was over there?
It's like a camping type thing, but it's not like you're in like an actual tent. It was fun, but I mean that just stood out a lot.
You took her to do some outdoor shit?
She planned everything. This is not the kind of thing that I would necessarily. And it's not really that outdoorsy. It's called glamping because it's like glamorous camping, I believe is what it stands for.
If it's outdoors, it's camping.
No, it's like inside of a tent, but then it's almost like you're inside like a half decent like hotel room, but the walls are like made of canvas and shit. And the first night, the wind was blowing so fucking hard that it was like sonic booms outside. We couldn't sleep or anything. It was very weird. Another classic interview in the books. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and head on over to nojumper.com to support. Appreciate y'all.